Okay, here we go with Algebra 1, Notes 8, Writing Expressions. Make sure you put your name, date, and class period, and your central question you have to answer at the end is how do you write an expression to represent a real-world situation. And basically, with real-world situations, you just assign variables or symbols for situations is all you have to do. Okay, a verbal model is what we're going to get. Is an expression that describes a problem using words as labels and using math symbols to relate to the words for real-world situations. Okay, and they're going to ask you for the rate. Is going to be a fraction that compares two quantities measured in different units. It's just represented by the rate when they ask you the rate. And then the unit rate is going to be the rate per one item given units. So you're going to just divide it down and get it to 1. Some of the words we need to know in translating verbal expressions here, I put some of them in, but on the top right hand corner we have some, plus, total, increased by, and more than. These are all dealing with adding things together. More than has a little asterisk beside it because it's a reversing word that you have to pay close attention to when you write it out into an expression. You got to flip the order. In the top left hand corner it has difference, minus, decreased by, and less than. This is all the subtraction taking place. And once again, less than is a flipping word that you got to be careful with. You got to reverse the order. And in the bottom left hand corner has times, product, multiplied by, and of. This is where you're multiplying things, so I'm going to put an X in that box. And then in the bottom right hand corner has quotient, divided by, and divided into. This is our division corner. And once again, divided into has that star, so that when you see your words you have to flip the order or reverse the words in your sentence. Okay, so hopefully you got those written down, otherwise pause it real quick. Alright, on example 1, we have several examples. It says translate the verbal phrase into an expression. So if I look at the first one, it has 24 decreased by 3 times a number b. I circled my operation words. Those are very, very important. Decreased by, if I look up here in my chart, decreased by means I am subtracting, and the word times means I am multiplying. So if I write this out, I'd have 24 decreased by 3 times the letter, and there's my letter, a B. Okay. On the next one, it says 5 more than, I'm going to circle that, 6 times a number, and there's my X. More than, I look up here, is in my addition column, but realize it also has a little asterisk, which means I've got to flip the order. So that means I'm going to do the back half first. 6 times the number X. Well, how do I write 6 times the number X? Well, that's just 6X. And then the more than means I'm actually adding, so I put my plus sign, and then a 5 comes last. Okay? On the third example here we have 8 times the cube of a number m. Okay, so times means I'm multiplying, so I'm going to have 8. The cube goes on to the m. Remember, cube is the little 3 exponent, so that means I'm going to have an m to the third on this problem. And then the last phrase here says the quotient of a number c and, very, very important, 4. The quotient goes where the and is. Quotient refers to a division that is taking place. So that means I'm going to have c divided by 4, or you could write this c over 4. Or you can do the division symbol I will take, c divided by 4. Okay. on the next page, example 2, it says write an expression for the situation. So here they're giving you a story that goes with it. We want the total cost of N notebooks if each of the notebooks cost $1.25. Okay, so each one of our notebooks costs $1.25. Each is one of those words that we could place here in our multiplication section because it means we're multiplying, so that I see that I'm multiplying N times $1.25. So I'm going to put $1.25 and the letter N behind it. Now the total was confusing because I started to put a plus sign, but that is not what is actually being used there. Alright, on the second one here it says the time it takes to get to school and home again if you walk 5 minutes to the bus stop and then ride the bus for M minutes. Okay, so I start out my walk by walking 5 minutes to get to the bus stop. Then from there it's a total of M minutes. Well, this and means I'm actually just adding these two things together. So you can sometimes, this one's a sometimes, that's why it's not in there written, and usually applies to the plus sign. But realize the and was in the division. It will also show up in the multiplying. So we got to be careful with the word and. Alright, on example 3, it's asking for the unit rate, and that's where we want it for 1. What is it for one item? So it's like on A, it has 129 miles for 6 gallons. We want to know what it is for 1 gallon. That's what we're looking for. For 1 gallon, how many miles can we travel? Well, to get that, all we're going to do is actually divide these two numbers. So we're actually going to do 129 divided by 6. Okay, and if I divide those, I come out with 21.5. So this would be 21.5 miles will be my answer. Okay, if I go to the next one, it says 18 people for 3 tabs. We want to know what it is for 1 tab. So if I divide these two numbers, I end up with 6. So that means 6 people for 1 tab. If I go to C, I want to know what it is for 1 ticket. How much does it cost for 1? So I actually just want to divide 28 and 4 and end up with $7. Okay, find out what it is for 1. That is the unit rate. Unit meaning 1. Okay, here are 3 independent practice problems I want you to work. Fill them out and then make sure you fill out your summary, and then you'll be finished with your notes.